Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever sketchbook tour. This is the first sketchbook that I've ever completed, and I honestly feel quite accomplished. I've always struggled to work in my sketchbooks consistently, and this is something that I'm trying to change. I also have several sketchbooks that I tend to go back and forth between, but in order to stay focused and complete this one, I put them all away in storage and only allowed myself to use this one before moving on to the next. I think I bought this sketchbook about 10 or 12 years ago, and it feels so good to say that it's finally finished. Another reason that's kept me from working consistently in my sketchbooks is that I've always struggled with perfectionism for most of my adult life. Lately, I've been trying to do away with that and simply focus on the enjoyment of creating without worrying about making everything perfect, since that only hinders the flow and makes me not enjoy the process. So today, I'm going to take you through a very messy, very realistic, and very chaotic look at what an artist's sketchbook looks like. So on this first page, I had the pleasure of going to a meetup in Portland with Danny Gregory, who runs the Sketchbook School Company and YouTube channel. He's been a huge inspiration to me over the years and has helped me break free of some of my struggles with perfectionism. I showed him my sketchbook and talked to him about my work, my frustrations, and my goals. He complimented my work, gave me some words of advice, and he wrote a couple notes in the sketchbook, one on the front cover and one on the back, which we'll get to later. A lot of people seem to think that a sketchbook should be some beautiful, complete work of art, but that just isn't the case. Your sketchbook should be a place of practice, study, experimentation, and somewhere where you can feel safe to try new things without fear of judgment. I know that I usually only show my finished pieces that I'm proud of, and it honestly feels a little harrowing showing you what the reality behind that is. But I ultimately believe that it's important to be authentic and honest to yourself and to others. An artist shouldn't only be creating beautiful finished pieces, because that just doesn't allow room for any growth. This sketchbook is a mixture of doodles, things that I've seen and wanted to capture, ideas, color swatches, and there are also some more finished pieces that I actually really like and would like to make prints or stickers of. There are also a lot of sketches of my sister's cat, most of them awful since I just don't draw animals as much as I'd like to. One of the most important practices for me lately has been to allow myself to doodle or just to put some paint on the paper without having an end goal. It's very therapeutic and is a perfect practice if you suffer from perfectionism. This was a quick 5-minute sketch I did of the Dariali Monastery, which is located in the north of Georgia, literally a few hundred feet from the Russian border. It was such a beautiful place, and I'd like to go back there again someday. This page is quite literally just some doodles, just drawing a bunch of different objects that I thought were interesting. This little fawn guy I found on Pinterest and thought he looked pretty cool, so I decided to draw him. Now we're actually getting into some pieces that I put a bit more time into. I saw this portrait of this woman on Pinterest late one night and just had to paint her. This next piece is one that I painted of the Kutaisi Botanical Gardens in Georgia, and I would actually like to make a print of it one day. I was really happy with how it came out, and I spent quite a bit of time on it, especially the border. This next page is another favorite of mine. I drew this old man, a subject you'll see quite a bit in the sketchbook, and I painted the bottom piece while listening to the most recent episode of Tea with the Druid by Philip Cargom, which I listen to live every Monday. This is the kind of art that I want to be doing, and the kind of art that brings me the most joy to paint. And this is another page full of doodles and sketches of old men. Not much else to say here. On the left page is a portrait I did of Danny Gregory, the guy who signed my book at the beginning. I did this quick sketch of him while watching one of his talks on YouTube. I was also eating a bowl of grape nuts, which I quickly sketched out as well. And then on this next page, I drew a quick sketch and wrote a couple of sentences about an idea that I had for a story that I've been working on. And these pages just have more doodles, quick sketches, nothing really special. I drew the hummingbird feeder that's outside and my necklace that I wear every day, as well as my earring. My brother was visiting for a few days, and I got him to paint a little bit in my sketchbook, so that's what the right page is. On the left side, we went to a park close by where we live, and I painted my sister's dog, Clover, and I also did a little rock study. I also got my sister to paint something on the right-hand side, and on the left side, this was a little study of a tree that I drew when we were camping at Whalen Island in Oregon. Ignore the left page. I don't know why I drew that in my sketchbook, but these were some flowers that I saw in Mendocino when I was visiting my mom down in California. Yet another doodle page. As you can see, there are quite a lot of these pages in my sketchbook, which is a good thing. On the left page, there are some more studies of my sister's cat, Hermione. And on the right side, I actually drew these sketches while at the meetup with Danny Gregory. The meetup took place in this really cool store where there were a lot of knickknacks and furniture, and there was just a lot to look at, so. Here I painted a screenshot from a video I was watching by Green Renaissance, titled A Life of Meaning. I think their YouTube channel is called Reflections of Life now, but it's one of my favorites. I highly recommend it, and I will put it in the description below. On the left-hand side, I was trying to plan out the colors I was going to put into a new watercolor palette that I bought. And on the right is a beautiful oak tree that I love to go sit underneath in the park close to where I live. I spend a lot of time there, and I'm always taking pictures of it, sketching it, and just spending time underneath. And on the left side, we have more watercolor palette planning. This was actually the planning that I did for that tiny watercolor palette video that I made a little while back. I will link it above here, so you can check it out if you haven't seen it already. And this page, I actually just realized that I never finished, but I just wanted to make a little pattern that I could use as a coloring page. It was really fun to do, and I'd like to do more things like this. It's very meditative. Here we have some more cat studies on the left, and on the right side, I actually wanted to try drawing some architecture. I found this video that was taken in Istanbul, Turkey, and I just really wanted to give it a try. I liked how it turned out, even though it's a little bit unfinished. For the left side, I had some scrap paper that I had painted some little sketches of objects, and I was kind of worried about losing them, so I just decided to stick them into the sketchbook. And then on the right was this study of a portrait that I found on Pinterest. I really enjoyed doing this piece and really liked how it turned out. On the left side, we have some more building studies. I found this photo of this cute little British village. I cannot remember the name of it, but this was really fun to do. And here I just did some more simple leaf patterns. Just wanted to let the paintbrush do what it wanted to do. On the left, we'd have yet another quick portrait study. And this one was actually a late night painting that I did when I should have been trying to sleep. I actually really like these two pages. I always love drawing and painting fruit and food. It's kind of my comfort zone area. So if I never know what to draw or paint, I will just draw some food. Lately, I've been wanting to draw more farm animals for some reason, especially chickens. Probably just because I really miss having chickens. Definitely going to be doing more of them in the future. I'm not sure what happened here, but for some reason I painted this page upside down. I did this page when I was visiting my brother in Mexico a few months ago. He had a really cozy apartment and a nice view off of his balcony, so I just had to paint it. I did these little sketches while on a walk along my favorite trail close to where I live. There was a goose that wouldn't stop following me, and he kept getting closer and closer, so I decided to just draw him. And with that, we have finally come to the last page in this sketchbook. It feels so good to finally say that I completed one, and that I can now move on to the next one. I'm going to be doing a lot more traveling starting in the next few months, and I'm really excited to see all the new places that I've never been before, and I'm also planning on doing a lot more urban sketching in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.